Hey! Hi! How you doing? This is the Gamertron and welcome back to the Gamertron Show. So recently I've been playing a newly released FPS that just came out called Toxikk. It's been in early access for quite some time now, but it's finally come out of early access. We have yet another thankful, successful early access story. And not too many games make it out of early access. I'm really glad to see Toxikk made it out. And it made out swinging, turning out to be a pretty awesome final product, a pretty awesome game, a pretty awesome old school multiplayer FPS. And when I say old school, I mean really old school. Toxikk is as old school a multiplayer shooter as you can get. Do you like games like Quake and Unreal Tournament? Then Toxikk is just your thing, as it takes enormous inspiration from those games, while of course adding its own unique flavor, in terms of its weapons, movement mechanics, vehicles, and art design in some cases. However, when it comes to the art design, it just screams Unreal Tournament. I'm sorry, it does. I mean, it uses the Unreal Free engine for goodness sakes. And just looking at some of the armor and weapon designs, yeah, Toxikk is almost kinda sorta the spiritual successor to Unreal Tournament. But that doesn't mean the game doesn't have its own identity. It, as a standalone game, as a standalone first-person shooter video game, is a darn good game. A darn good ton of fun. However, it is fun for the same reason games like Unreal Tournament are fun. And that's the game's simplicity, but the complexity within its simplicity. As it says in the game's trailers, Toxikk boasts about how it doesn't have any loadouts, no reloading, no sprinting. It's got classic old school FPS in its blood and in its bones. But utilization of the game's movement system and its different weapons are most certainly skill based. Now, if you want to play casually, you absolutely can. Just firing rockets, lasers, and bullets at one another, blowing each other up while double jumping across the map. You can certainly do that. You can play the game casually. But if you want to play the game well, if you want to play the game competitively, there's absolutely skill in how you utilize the movement system and the different functionality of the weapons. Like old school shooters, every single weapon in this game has a secondary fire or secondary functionality. The assault rifle, called the Violator. While the weapon can be used as a standard assault rifle, it also has a grenade launcher attachment with quite a range on it. So good timing and usage of the weapon's different firing modes will have you competing with even the best players who are skilled at using rocket launchers. And while like old school games, there are some weapons in Toxikk that are absolutely better than others, like for instance, every weapon is better than the pistol. I mean, you could use the pistol if you're an unstoppable beast at the game and you know how to use the pistol effectively, even on a player with max health. Well, first of all, good for you, you're a beast at the game. But just looking at the base stats of the weapons, it's pretty obvious to see that some weapons are just better than others. For instance, as awesome and as powerful as the shotgun is in this game, the more powerful close-range weapon, the flamethrower, is going to outdo it. And like classic FPSs of old, the rocket launcher is king. And I have to say, blowing people up and watching their ragdolls fly or them explode into blood and gore is as satisfying as in any game. But don't think for a second that the game doesn't allow for different playstyles. Different playstyles are just kinda map-based. There's some wide-open maps with little to no cover. They're an obvious playground for snipers, and there are some maps that with a ton of corridors and different pathways where close-range combat with close-range weapons is going to dominate. And there are some maps where every weapon, every playstyle will work. It just comes down to individual player skill and luck, of course. I also really appreciate the simple and easy to get a hang of and control vehicles in the game. The flying gunship, the hoverjet, the hoverbike, the truck, and the oh-so-destructive and fun-to-play-with mech. Yes, there are mechs in the game, and they're awesome. Not Titanfall awesome, but awesome in their own simple way. Toxikk also has full bot support. A single-player campaign mode called Contracts, which is just multiplayer matches with bots, good old classic FPS multiplayer arena-style campaigns, and of course, full-fledged, offline, customizable bot matches. Yes! That is a huge win for Toxikk in my book. The more bots, the better, the merrier. And can I just say, the armor in this game looks awesome. Yes, it's generic sci-fi mercenary soldier armor. It still looks cool though. And the little bit of customization you get with the different helmets and colors is also pretty cool. Just that little bit extra effort, that little bit extra detail is greatly appreciated. And so yeah, that's Toxikk. It's an awesome, cool, brand new FPS that revels in old school arena shooters, Oh yeah, and did I mention it's free to play on Steam? Yeah, it's free to play on Steam. You can go download Toxikk right now, free on PC, on Steam, and basically get access to most of the full game. You just lose out on certain content and features that you can buy in the full game for only $15. Basically, the free version comes with the base game, but you miss out on custom content in Steam Workshop, the level editor, the ability to join or host custom servers, character customization. You don't have access to the server browser or campaign mode. So yeah, that's some really cool stuff that's not in the free version, which is why I would recommend buying Toxikk. This is a game I would actually recommend getting on Steam. It's only $15. It's an awesome game. It's one of the very few games nowadays to actually make it out of early access. It's an old school FPS. We don't have too many old school, pure old school FPSs. On top of all that, it's an indie game. A fairly impressive indie game for how good the visuals and the animations are. I do genuinely believe that Toxikk is worth showing some love over. I mean, it's just the whole concept about this game is friggin' awesome. It's an indie game, a game that made out of early access, heavily inspired by and basically a spiritual successor to Unreal Tournament. If you want to play the game for completely free, you can? Like, Toxikk is just awesome. Just an awesome game. So yeah, go check it out. Anyways, that has been a video. I hope you liked the video. If you did indeed like the video in any way, shape, or form, please hit the like button. Hitting the like button helps you, helps me, helps everybody involved with the video. If you hit the like button, please let me know your thoughts, feelings, and opinions in the comments section below. What do you think of Toxikk? Let me know in the comments. I love reading comments. Get nearly enough comments. Please leave a comment. If you want to help out and support this video, then please share it on social media, Twitter and Facebook. And if you want to help out and support me directly, then please consider pledging and becoming a patron on my Patreon. Anyways, guys, that's been a video, and I'll see you all later.